All right, we're live.
Mm.
Let's see if another OnlyFans girl tries to advertise in our chat like they did last week.
I'm just saying, like, are we supposed to complain when that happens? I'm confused.
I mean, I didn't want to address it during stream
It seems
because
acceptable.
it's kind of awkward.
Kinda.
Yeah.
How was last week? As everyone saw, I was at the convention of the games.
What?
I said, how was last week's? I was at the convention of the games.
It was good. We'll talk about it when we are recording the podcast. But yeah, it was all right. All right, are you ready?
Ready when you
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 65 of the SWW Show. Um, it's me, AJ. I got Mike with me. We're doing this one live. So if my attention kind
are.
of
Screw it, we're doing it live.
wanes at times, it's because I'm trying to play a game. Speaking of
No,
games,
it makes total sense. But yeah, we should talk about. Yeah, speaking of games, let's talk about. I think let's talk about the elephant in the room then. Let's talk about it. How, the finals. You've put in objectively more than I have hours wise, but it seems like something we're
yeah,
both
but
kind of
not really
enjoying. Is
much. I
that a
mean, I
fair
played
way of
enough
saying it?
to kind of figure out what's going on, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. That's fair. So what is your thought? So to me, the finals is very interesting because it's a freedom shooter has those kind of content to it, but like it does play super well. Like I was actually very impressed. I think by the quality of it, and I thought the like just generifying it down to the light, medium, heavy. Like we're just I'm pretending with this is like level of like simplicity. I think is kind of nice in a game like this, where like some games get so up their hierarchy that you have to be like, okay, what the fuck does this mean when it says this type of name? Was this class? With this game's just like we're gonna tell you be very direct and just kind of tell you just go. I think it's kind of a nice change of this kind of genre.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got that
And
um, kind of almost Call of Duty esque, where you can learn the maps because the basics of the map don't change. But then, like, there's different modifiers that you could have that it's like, oh, the cash points are floating now, or um, you've got low gravity, or the game just crashes. Um, which is always fun. So yeah, I mean it's got its issues,
that
right?
is
Like
one. I've had definitely had some crashing issues with this game.
mine just shit the bed. Um, when we streamed this the first time, yours crashed and then mine crashed. So it's
And even
not
like when I was playing it, I've crashes stuff. Like
yeah.
yeah, it's technically surprisingly intensive. I think too. I think is the negative of it. Like I was kind of surprised for like relatively looking at it, like how much it feels like my computer is fighting to keep it up. But yeah, as a whole though, I do think it's a good game, and I think especially for a free game, it's definitely worth your time. I don't think there's any like we have concerns and problems. I don't think there's any like objective like you shouldn't play this level of concerns in this game.
Yeah. It's fun. It'll get there.
Yeah.
It's got a excuse me, a ways to go.
Artistic time.
But I mean, also you have to remember like Fortnite
Yeah.
took
No, that
years to
we,
get
but
where it was even fun, or a bunch of people were playing it, I should say. Um,
that's very true.
I mean, I remember
No,
hearing about
that
Fortnite
like
like
you had that level of like
I don't know how many years. Um, I think at one point in time there were more people that had played um, Fortnite than people that knew what Fortnite was. Because it was one of those weird things where it was like, okay, it's a zombie wave based survival game, but there might be a battle royale aspect to it. There were just so many questions around.
the way I like the way I was thinking of it is I was like Cliff Bleszinski, you have to remember, announced that game on the E3 stage. That's
Yeah,
how long ago the game was announced.
yeah. I think it was almost a
Which
decade
is pretty wild
from
if you
when it
think
was
about it.
announced to when it became what it was. But
Yeah, so that's very fair. And I'll be curious to kind of see how this game kind of evolves over that same time period.
yeah,
Yeah. The other thing on your end is you've been kind of running your way continually through Like a Dragon,
yeah,
Infinite Wealth. Is there anything new on that game you want to talk about?
dude, I streamed that game recently while you were at GDC, and I was live for 2 hours. I think I played 40 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. The rest was cutscenes.
Hmm. I was gonna say, what are you doing this? Okay, that
So
is wild.
yeah, it
That
definitely
so
was
you
approaching.
feel that's still good. That
Oh shit. It was approaching that level of like Metal Gear esque. Um, you know, I just think back to like Metal Gear 4 had I think a
level of cutscenes.
hour and a half long cutscene that you couldn't skip. And I guess like if you had watched all of the stuff that was on the TV part of 4, I think that's like
Mm-hmm.
3.5 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear is still the definitive long ass cutscene game. Um, and Metal Gear, I mean, the Yakuza games have always had long ass cutscenes. That part isn't weird. It's just the problem was
Not for a puzzle.
I joined or I started streaming basically at the end of a chapter. So it was like this big exposition
Mm.
dump. Exposition, there we go. Dump. Words are hard, especially when you're trying to shoot people with a shotgun. Um, shit. And it was just one of those things where I was like, okay, now I can button through the cutscene. And then you were going, okay, they have, for whatever reason, um, there's basically two levels of cutscenes to Yakuza games where it's one you can button mash through
Okay.
and one that you can't.
Yes, one is a video, more video, and one is like action game.
Yeah, one of them is definitely the, uh, you
Pretty
know,
rendered,
oh yeah, like
most beautiful thing.
But it wouldn't surprise me if I spend another probably 60 hours in that game. Um, for a multitude of reasons, right? Like, it's a game that series specifically, that I absolutely adore. Um, and this one's very fun. And it's got things that could definitely be time sinks. Um,
Mhm.
I haven't hopped back into the Animal Crossing Island Manager since I first started that section. But I mean, that's basically a whole game in itself. Um, in terms of like, you could spend as much time as you wanted, I think, in that mode. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's it's been pretty good.
Perfect. And the last game on my list is I playing a bunch of Against the Storm, which I think I mentioned like right at the end last time. Which is interesting. So it's a city builder game, but like a more kind of like era kind of like you're in like a forest, kind of dealing with a bunch of like mystical creatures. But like the big twist is there's like this big timer kind of going on. That's the storm part. And the idea is like you're doing these colonies for like a leader, so you have like so much time to like appease her with certain objectives, and you kind of keep going this process. And the neat part because it's a roguelike, so like once you lose or whatever, you got a bunch of points on the process. Your goal is then to kind of upgrade your stuff and get access to more types of towns, more types of buildings, upgrade buildings further, and just kind of continue this process. And your eventual goal is in one run to do so many of these towns in a row. Uh, so that was a very interesting twist on a city builder. And what I kind of liked about it too is I think city builders have this problem where like later in the game you're like, okay, what like it's very self driven to a point where you're like, okay, like I've done all these real objectives. And I kind of like this game of like it kind of lets you go through that loop a bunch, but it still gives you a bunch of new things like every time. So it's like there's still like new stuff you're doing, or it's different than kind of before, which I think is kind of a very nice change of pace than a lot of I think recent city builders.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I'd say that's something if that's something people recommend.
also like basically to be a successful city builder right now, your game just needs to run. I mean, I think City
Mm,
Skylines 2 is still having performance issues.
yeah,
Six
I've been
months
hearing
since
some weird
release.
stuff with that game. Like after the first one was like loved by everyone, but the second one I've been hearing a lot of questionable things
Yeah, a lot of
performance
people are
wise.
realizing like it didn't need a sequel. Like,
Which I really didn't. like honestly. So so yeah, I completely agree on that. Okay, let's jump into what we've seen, and I've got there are two things on here, and I don't know which is the dumb one to start with. Let's start with the true dumb one. How is John Cena in Ricky Stinky?
Stanicky.
Nikki?
Um,
So
that movie's
tell us
actually,
about what is this?
yeah, the movie's actually way more fun than it has any right to be. Um, I mean, it's damn stupid. Don't get me wrong, but combining Efron and Cena was a very big uh, get for um, Amazon because it's those guys just work so well together and it's hilarious. Um, Andrew Santino is in it as well, and he's all right. Um, he's not my favorite of the um, what's the proper way to call them? Like of the Rogan comedians. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
him, Dan Soder, which
Mm-hmm.
Dan Soder's in Billions. Um, Andrew Santino's been in a decent amount of stuff. Bill Burr in
Mm-hmm.
Mandalorian. So
It's still wild to me that like the thing that I feel like his first like TV-ish film or like that acting role had to have been Breaking Bad that people think really cared about.
yeah, I guess yeah, he was in Breaking Bad before
Which is so funny, like
Mandalorian, but
anything else.
Mandalorian was
Because
most
like
recent.
recently man yeah, I feel like yeah, like his like 'cause he doesn't do that much like TV and film.
No.
So. Cool. The other thing that I had to ask you about that's on this. Tell us about the horror, which is this. I'm assuming this is the remake of
Yeah.
Roadhouse.
Yeah. It's all right.
How is Jake Gyllenhaal McGregor?
I mean, Gyllenhaal is amazing. McGregor looks like he's on a coke bender the entire time. I swear, at least half of his dialogue had to be 80 yard. The sound mixing is
Okay, so
so bad on
I've
his dialogue.
besides the trailer seen like I've seen like nothing of this film. Is it at all a remake? Is it completely different? Like how does it compare?
It's a modernization.
Okay.
So, I mean, it definitely takes notions from the original Roadhouse. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, Gyllenhaal's character is an underground fighter, but also he was a UFC fighter. Like, that's where he got his
Mm-hmm.
start. Um, so, it's a little more like set in modern reality and like, um, so some of the things around it are, you know, modernized.
So
So
did you like it, or like how are you feeling about this?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I would watch it again. It's not like I wouldn't want to um, watch it again or watch it with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, perfect. That sounds at least like a good time. Last thing before we get into actual new stuff is shout out to out at GDC, San Francisco. I'm just gonna say it as much as like how we all have a cartoon image of San Francisco in our heads.
yeah,
There are times that city really lives up to that image, and the other times the city's pretty nice. Um, but I do stick with the. It is wild how expensive anything in that city is, even food and stuff. But
yeah.
otherwise, Tuesday's a good time. Catch up with little friends, saw a bunch of cool games as you imagine, learned a bunch of tech stuff, and then uh, letting off people. But what's interesting to me, which is the big one that I think was kind of big discussion kind of going on, is people felt a lot pretty optimistic at GDC. It almost feels like maybe the layoffs are at least slowing down or somewhat. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. Um,
I mean, there's not many more
kind
people
of
that
how
you
that
could
all
lay
kind
off.
of works.
So
And that's part of it. Could be is like we've kind of really done what we can before you start shutting down big studios, and no one seems to be under the impression that's going to happen.
yeah, I mean, at a certain point, yes, like the industry was going to self correct after COVID, um,
Mm-hmm.
because so many industries overhired. So that
Mm-hmm.
part isn't surprising. The part that is surprising is kind of the ruthlessness with how it was handled, um,
Yeah,
and kind of the
and that's
suddenness,
true.
right?
It was
Like,
ruthless. And,
it,
yeah, and it was such a short time span of everyone getting hit. I think that was a big one.
yeah, it was just like, oh,
But,
we are all doing this at once, and there's
and
gonna
no
be
one's anywhere to
no,
go because of that.
there's gonna be no breathing period for people to kind of try to get back on their feet. We're just gonna take everyone all out at once, which in a way is a smart move for the industry, because I think,
Yeah, but it hurts.
yeah,
Like, it hurts developers, I think.
in a weird way, it's smart to do that because it helps the industry heal faster. Right? It's the difference between ripping the band-aid off all at once versus
It
slowly pulling
exists
it
in good
off.
mode.
Like,
And there is arguments for both in a lot of ways too.
yeah,
Because the problem could be, especially like if you do it too slow, is like you actually might snowball get worse because now people's money problems get worse too.
yeah,
Depending who it is. Like obviously people who just want the check, but like the little ones who are actually like watching the bottom line, like reality of watching that thing tick down, uh like that could be a big difference. If they lay off 30% now or 10%, because it turns out they're actually spending a lot more money.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's, you know, it works. The industry is going to be fine. It's not going anywhere.
mhm. But the other thing that I wanted to say too, which I thought was pretty cool, is so the first day of the expo hall on Wednesday last week, they did at like lunchtime a live orchestra of like a bunch of different game stuff. And Austin Winfrey was the conductor, and then it was hosted by Troy Baker, and that was a really cool time. And I wanted to shout that out because I'm hoping they bring that back in next year. Because it was, they brought on God, who's the composer for Hades? But they brought him out. They brought out the composer for Kingdom Hearts, who actually was winning award that night. She also like Street Fighter Two. And they brought out like a few others. And it ended with Troy Baker singing the Bioshock Infinite song, which is really cool.
Which Bioshock song? The God Only Knows song? That's been around forever.
No, is that the one where it's like the chain will be broken?
Oh, yeah, no. Um,
Yeah, that was a good GDC. Uh, Jumping into, I think there's really not much film TV stuff going on. Besides, we'll get some trailers going on because I don't know, the industry's just quiet, which is kind of weird. Um,
it's post strike kind of
I think
messiness.
now we're in that weird, yeah. Isn't there potential like another strike coming up soon?
Not one that would impact the industry the way that they had.
Okay, so it wasn't as bad as I thought.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, there's always a strike pending.
Somewhere.
Um, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
No, that makes total sense.
It just happened that Writers Guild and SAG were timed in such a way that
it really.
it really messed with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, jumping into, we have two things of wrestling thing that I want to talk about from last month. First being, I actually watched a bunch of AW Revolution, which was obviously Sting's retirement. I just want to know that was, I think, a really good pay-per-view, and how they treated Sting and the closing of him. It's kind of nice to see a wrestler retire who I actually feel might stay retired for matches, and then also get treated like the respect they deserve. Because like Sting,
Well, I mean,
I don't think there'll be 80 in a ring. Just gonna be honest with you.
yeah, I mean, the thing with Sting is always going to be the what could have been aspect of, he was a WCW guy for life, right? Like, and then as soon as WCW went away, he was a TNA guy for life. So, it was. Yeah, my game just crashed.
Yeah, Sting has to be what, the most known non-WWE wrestler.
In the States, yeah.
Yeah, in the States. Asterisks in the States. But like I'm trying to think of like I feel like for someone who is as infamous as he is, it is interesting how he never was in like WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm showing the lobby, by the way. And then the other one I shout out, which I was upsettingly last minute didn't go to, I got sick on Monday, which was the Raw at Allstate Arena in Chicago, and I somehow missed seeing The Rock because of that, which is annoying. And I'm like,
So my friends went, and they said it was not a super wrestling type of show, but they said it was a very interesting show and very fun to be at, just because of like how monologue heavy it was and how much they'd let The Rock just destroy Cody Rhodes.
The problem I'm having with this, as I'm like dipping my toe in and haven't really been paying too close attention to it, is Rock's trying to play heel.
Right.
Meanwhile, his public persona is this, aw shucks, happy go lucky dude. And it's just like, dude, you can't be putting promos you're cutting on your Instagram that is also advertising your skincare brand. Like, you just can't be doing that.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. I'm gonna be very curious how they handle it, and also I'm also intrigued because obviously like the show got very intense to a point where like I'm wondering if they're purposely like getting it more PG-13ish kind of for the rise of them going to Netflix and can kind of get away with stuff they probably couldn't go with on TV.
Maybe.
Because like I'm not saying always, but I can see a world where if WWE's not on TV, they could be like, okay, what could we do, or like have moments what you do. We will see there. Jumping into trailers, there's quite a few that kind of launched last month. The first one I'll start with, because obviously I think is one you're least interested in, which is we got the Fallout TV show trailer, which comes out very soon. And even at the trailer, I immediately was like, I think they might actually know what Fallout somewhat is. We've got some clips later that make me a little more concerned. But I'm going to be very interested if Amazon can actually pull off this Fallout TV show, which at least at first glance, I think is at least passing the looks test, which is not true of every video game property I think we've gotten adopted. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that one.
I mean, I'll watch it, right? Like,
Yeah,
which
I'll
I
be
think
curious.
is.
Like, I'll be very curious how they handle these stories too, just because like the part of the Fallout world was never the main story that people care about it, but not in that way.
Yeah.
It'd be like making a Skyrim thing. You'd be like, what's the story you're telling?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those where you do kind of question, okay, why, who, what, where, when, why, right, is
Mhm.
the big thing. And I guess for me, the why is the question with Fallout. Like,
Mhm.
does Fallout really need to be a TV show? I mean,
No.
granted, if you were going to pick any of them, any game to do a TV show, Fallout's not a bad one.
Oh no, because I think it being the world, I think it's very relatively easy to show in a like film or
Yeah.
a TV show or film, and I think because we understand it, but I think you also do fun stuff with it because like a lot of it's so like physical effecty anyway that it works really well in a physical like that type of medium.
Yeah.
Because like in theory, you could either super CG this or you could literally do the like strap stuff on them way too.
Yeah.
That'd be very interesting. Speaking of stuff though that I don't think we need and I'm very intrigued by, um, Beetlejuice 2024. That
Yeah,
trailer
we
came
don't
out.
need a Beetlejuice sequel. Like,
This is called. Why are we making this?
yeah.
Like I don't understand at all who wanted this or thought this was a good idea.
You know what this is? This is a producer that's like in his early 40s at Warner
Mm-hmm.
going, you know what movie I loved as a kid? Beetlejuice. I have kids that are roughly that age. They should be able to
Yeah.
experience a Beetlejuice of their own. It's like, no, just show them Beetlejuice.
Well, 100%. Just show him Beetlejuice. Like what? I completely agree. So yeah, that happened. There, the next one kind of on there, which I'm intrigued by, but I don't know if it's gonna be good. Is Penguin? I've been hearing some stuff that like makes me feel like there's a chance this film's actually good.
Show.
Show. The show's actually good. but I don't know. Kind of. Did you have any thoughts on it? Because like to me, the big one that I think stood out was like how they're letting him actually look more like Penguin and act like him than like the movie did.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Odds one, it makes something good in that universe. But like, also, where does this universe fall? Right, so the Batman thing is separate from the James Gunn thing, but does James Gunn still watch over it?
Yes and no.
Okay. And then lastly, obviously, the trailer that I saved for last very purposely is the one that I'm pretty sure we're both the most interested in, which is part of the proof that we need to just clone George Miller, because Furiosa trailer has released, and oh boy, are we watching that? We're watching that film, right?
Yeah.
I think there's zero doubt in our head, right, that we were going to spend all of our time watching that film and having to watch Mad Max to prepare.
I mean, we're not just watching Mad Max. We're watching Shiny and Chrome.
Yeah, okay, that's the correct version of Mad Max at this point. Uh, I want to whenever like I actually upgrade to like a super nice TV. That should be like the thing I tested on, right?
Actually, not really.
Hmm.
Because it's really only a great test of HDR.
Okay.
Because of it being black and white. Probably a better movie. Honestly, the color version of Fury Road would be a great one.
That is, I think Top Gun Maverick's a good one, but that's good like audio showcase. I feel like.
Actually, no. You know the movie you need to test the TV on is Blade Runner 2049.
Yes.
There's so much neon in that movie that
That it would just
it's
be
basically a
amazing.
requirement for a new TV.
So I have actually been debating should I go back and watch that movie again, since I haven't seen it since we saw it in whatever that was.
It's so good.
Especially now that like I've seen so much more of his work, so I'm kind of used to how he does things. That I'd be curious, kind of have a different impression of that film.
Yeah, if you had never really gotten into
Because
Villeneuve's movies,
that might have been my first film of his. Because I think we saw that before Sicario or after.
well, for me, it was significantly after.
Sure, but I'm trying to think like for me, because I think we watched like the first time I watched Sicario was because you said to watch it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, now we will jump into I think that's all of it. Honestly, again, film is quiet. We're jumping into already some game stuff. Oofta, oofta, oofta. Let's start with the saddest news I see you put up top. Sony is officially halting production on PSVR 2, and it's basically like, and with combined with the rumors that they're obviously bringing this thing to PC. Do we think PSVR is long for this world? Like at all?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing that they're missing is the thing that they figured out for the first one, which is
Games?
being able to use it on PC.
Yes. No,
Right,
that's
like
gonna be a big one.
um, the PC capabilities are what kept PSVR 1 alive for so long. And
So with the
honestly,
PSVR 1,
what
is it
really
just
drew
plugged it in?
interest for a second one. So,
I'm gonna be very intrigued because also I've not tried PS4 2, but across the board I've heard is the best headset, like just of what's out there, without going super high grade.
in terms of the headset quality, yes, the screen quality isn't the best, but yeah,
But like headset quality, I've been hearing like across as like a round deal, it's like
yeah,
the best out there.
yeah.
So I'm be very interested if anything can happen with PC and all this stuff, because like even also they do like eye tracking, they do a lot of cool tech in it. So
Yeah.
we will see. Next thing we got is Larian announced at GDC, which, as you can imagine, Larian cleaned up at the GDC Awards, that they are officially done with Baldur's Gate, and even more, they are done with working with the Wizards like all together, and their plan is just kind of make their own stuff at this point. I think obviously it's a team that probably earned that leeway, probably with publishers now too that they probably didn't have before, and probably with the industry. But the big thing to me there is still because obviously when Hasbro did those giant layoffs right after Baldur's Gate launched, like they got a giant chunk. I am very curious how much of this decision was the studio basically being like, we're not supporting them anymore, versus just dealing with the like licensing part of it. I don't know if you had any thought like with that of like what in your head was like to them like the final straw.
They were probably just ready to do something different. They'd been working on it for so long.
So yeah, but that's what, I'm curious. I bet you they're still gonna do like an RPG like that genre again. I'll just be curious kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll also be curious if they end up partnering with like someone else who does like a different type of tabletop system, and if they gamify that, or if they just kind of do their own. So yeah, that's interesting. But
I
yeah,
mean, there's
Larry,
only so many ways that you can spin D&D.
that's true, but there are a
Um,
lot of them like out there
yeah.
variations. And then breaking news from today that we were talking, that I thought should be talked about is so we officially have the first ever union contract for developers at a major game company. So workers at Sega America, a division of Sega Sammy Holdings, is officially the first employees of a North American video games union that was a ratified contract. Some of the peak highlights from the story here at Bloomberg, including they had a 3% raise this year, automatic 3% raise next year, and a 2.6 in 2026, on top of a bunch of other benefits. It's wild to see this has happened, and it's obviously there's a few that you just kind of floating in the background that they're starting to negotiate with. So I'm be very curious how fast this kind of spreads throughout the industry, because obviously it's been a solid 5, 6, 7 years of people talking about this, versus it finally happening.
Yeah. I mean, they screwed themselves, though, because they, they could have had, what, cost of living as a thing in their contract, not just a 3%, because I think they're based in San Francisco. Cost of living goes up way more than 3% each year in San Francisco.
It depends. If the rent keeps going down, then maybe not. But yeah, no, I completely agree. It's very interesting to me how they all, like locked him in those numbers, kind of like
Yeah.
that. And that also is part of the problem with this systems is like you are like because like a company, as you could imagine, won't agree to a blank check, and as a company owner, I probably wouldn't either. Like independent of giving people raises, you don't agree to like a blind that. So it's very interesting with this stuff. Always kind of what's the line you can negotiate ahead of time versus like keep open.
Yeah.
So that is gonna be big stuff there. This broke I think right before I left for GDC, and I think we should talk about is so Warner obviously had their big earnings call, and they talking about the success and lack of success of some of their games, and Warner has basically decided that it is safer for them to make more live service things that fail because of the monetary turn than it would be for them to create more things like the best-selling game last year in Harry Potter.
I see where they're coming from.
I don't know. I like from a risk reward, I could financially get it. It is still one of the most frustrating decisions they could have physically have said and made.
Yeah.
Because like, as the type of games we like, those are probably like, it's gonna be more of things we don't like in those games.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, like, it's also super torn because obviously we all point to like it's funny they said this after Harry Potter, but like at the same time, none of us truly believe Harry Potter is a repeatable success of like a bunch of IPs. It's just kind of maybe Harry Potter is a strong enough IP to do that with too. So that's what gets super weird. But yeah,
Well, and I think the
Warner.
thing that helped Hogwarts Legacy was, as much as people like to shit on J.K. Rowling, and I'm one of them,
Mhm.
that's still one of the biggest media
Right.
properties.
That's what I
in
think
the
makes it a
world.
very unique thing because of like how unique it is comparatively to basically like Harry Potter, like TBH is the size of stuff like Star Wars and all that, of like the things we talk about all the time.
I mean, I would argue that it's bigger than Star Wars.
Do you think so?
In terms of pop culture right now, absolutely.
Sure, monetary value, I'd be curious. There actually
Yeah.
might not be that far apart, honestly, but
Yeah, in
right?
terms of what things draw, I mean, part of what makes Harry Potter so popular is it hasn't been ground to death
Mm-hmm.
the way that Star
Because we
Wars
even
has.
saw like when they brought out those whatever those the movie things, and those were not the most well received.
The movie things. Oh, Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts.
I the what third one most the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I know it hasn't been viewed at very highly, but I mean, by all accounts, it was a popular franchise. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a dud.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It wasn't a dud. It was just kind of not the level, or even close to the level of Harry Potter. So, speaking of, this is just a string of developers we're gonna yell at. Let's just stay in Warner Brothers a second, actually. This broke a bit ago, and it's still the most baffling of news, which is Warner is delisting basically all Adult Swim games on Steam. Which
Oh, it's not just Steam. I think it's every platform.
it's every platform, but it's mostly Steam is kind of where people get the notices from. They're letting some developers, I've heard, transfer the like not just license, but like re-upload the game as a new Steam page and like republish it. But otherwise, it's basically your SOL if you're a developer and has had this game out for a while. Warner, what the flying hell? Like, we get you like deleting things, but this seems extreme even for them.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading that and I was like, what? I didn't know they could do that. Like, in that way.
Yeah, it was certainly I got into the story halfway scenario, and I was like, what's going on? Oh,
you like, they could do what?
well,
They're
it wasn't
doing,
that. It was like I kept seeing people talk about like Adult Swim games, and I'm going, you mean like the Rick and Morty games that weren't
yeah, you
great?
they're like a decent sized publisher. They were at the time, at least,
Yeah.
like a decent sized publisher. And like a lot of like that indie stuff we got in like that mid teens or late teens era is them that people
Yeah.
really liked. So I'm hoping that basically all the developers are able to get their games out and be able to keep selling them. But like that is I think it's very shitty for the developers too, because now they have to like redo all that stuff. They lose all of that back end. So yeah, we will see.
Oh yes, I didn't have to cheese that achievement. Thank God.
Let's jump into the next one, which is EA's CEO is. I know EA is not the company it once was of people hating it, but they're really fighting. Their CEO has announced that their goal is to basically make 60% of the development process impacted by Gen AI, and that they want to increase game productivity by up to 30% using Gen AI and AI technology, which I am probably not pro it, but like more I see like there's some use case I can see I go, okay, this is fine. That seems like the amount of numbers where I think people were concerned about, but also I'm gonna stick with as someone who works as tech. I don't truly believe the tech is there to the level that these execs are running on screaming it is. Like it's some stuff there and there's some stuff repeatable and increasable. It is not a I could fully replace artist level there, and anyone who's pretending it is hasn't actually worked with that stuff and knows what they're looking at.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts of the impending doom of AI in the games industry and kind of what we're seeing execs talk about, especially this one.
The Doom. I
Again,
mean,
I think
they're gonna
it's
do
here.
it, and everyone's gonna hate them for it, and then they're gonna find something else to bitch and moan about.
And then the
So
question will be like, I'm not saying again. I think it will affect some people's jobs. I do. I do not think it's going to affect jobs in this level of magnitude, in this volume, especially in this short of a time, based on what we're seeing. Because a lot of other stuff kind of in the background of it, I go, I think, not it's faked by any stretch, there's a lot of stuff there. But a lot of it also, you have to have someone who knows what they're looking at to like actually use that data and know how to talk with the AI and know how to actually get stuff out of it and is able to check it to make sure it's not like making something up that's horrible, which is a big thing too.
yeah,
So we will see there. Jumping into, I think this is the nope. We still have a few more of horrible execs. This is one that I'm pretty sure you were super excited about, and I was pretty okay with. Starbreeze has ousted their CEO, Tobias Gorgren?
Solgren.
Sogren. Basically, because let's be, it probably wasn't solely, but like Payday 3 was the final straw, and it's, let's just say, not well financially received experience. Wow. The one game launch making an exec being like removed from a company is pretty damn wow.
Yeah.
Especially like something like that where like I feel like it was relatively easy for them to make a sequel that would have been decently well received.
Honestly, I don't even know how they would have made a sequel to Payday 2.
You just need more content. I can see like you up the like at that point it's old enough. I guess you could do a bunch of stuff. I think to kind of make it look and play a bit better.
Well, but then you have like an HD Payday 2, which that's
They
fine.
need to do like the Hitman thing where they just made it like a content window.
Yeah.
Like well like sure like Hitman 3 launched, but it was in the like at that point as part of Hitman and all like that. They need to do something like that. I think is what they really felt like they need to do.
Yeah, I mean, if they had a Payday platform, which Payday 2 was a Payday platform, like it
Mhm.
brought in missions from the first game eventually. So,
Yep. Okay, so final we have 3 basically layoffs and one I'd say happy story. Where would you like to begin? Front like sad or the happy first?
um, let's go with sad. Let's just take our cough medicine now.
Okay. First one. PlayStation backed Deviation Games officially closed. Which is wild. That's the studio, if you don't know, that was formed by a bunch of the Call of Duty execs, and they originally had a deal with PlayStation
Yeah.
to create some sort of, not Call of Duty, but some sort. We all kind of assumed it was some sort of Call of Duty equivalent game.
It was going to be one of the live service
Mm-hmm.
games, yeah.
It was one of those secondary live service games, and it was by by a bunch of execs and team that made like Black Ops and games like that. So like it was like a thing like we all like okay, there's a good chance here. Closed, shut down. Which I think is very interesting because like just a few years ago they were actively talking about the amount of money they had and stuff, and I want to know how much they blew through that.
Yeah.
Because like how did that change? Because even if like they lost deals or deals changed, like the amount of runway they were talking they just had in the bank and stuff.
I think it's that debt is no longer cheap. I
Yeah,
think it's
and
literally just that. You know, I wish it was a more
which is a better answer, but yeah, no, you're
better
probably
answer,
right.
but it's just that debt is no longer cheap.
And as stuff like interest rates rose, stuff like VC cash is harder to come by. So if you need another funding round, is different. Yeah, no, it's gonna be very interesting to see kind of where they a bunch of them end up and kind of because I really like they're trying to get people out there and stuff, but yeah, it's rough as we said. The other one is so Valiant Studios announced a bunch of layoffs. They are the team that did Knockout City, for example, and the Mario Kart live circuit thing.
Yeah, the mobile one.
Apparently there was a game cancellation there, is what it sounds like. But oofda, that's a studio that I actually forgot about a bit, and I actually didn't realize they were in some level of financial strains because it felt like the stuff they worked on was really well received and even money wise made money.
I mean, Knockout City was kind of DOA. Like,
But like that one, I felt like they'd figured that out by now and already accounted for that in their financing. But like the Mario Kart circuit, I thought actually did really well.
yeah, that was one of those games that Nintendo was pushing for their mobileification, if you will, of their IP,
And
and
then people liked it. Like it was definitely one that I think I heard about.
yeah, I mean there was that. There was the Mario Infinite Runner, or not Infinite Runner, but
I know you're talking about that was a super early one.
yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah. So yeah. And then finally of the insane stories, Rooster Teeth is officially shutting down. That one is. What's I
That
think
one
the
was
wild,
the one where I was surprised.
but okay, but the wild part of the story is if you read it is apparently they had not been profitable since they were bought. That's the part that I think shook me of that story.
It didn't surprise me that much when you remembered like what all they were in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like they produced 2 movies. Now granted, I think there were at least one of them, if not both, was kickstarted. I think the other was on Indiegogo, but you know, they were crowdfunded
Mm-hmm.
projects, so they didn't have to take all the risk.
Mm-hmm.
So
But at the same time, it was still I guess because the amount of stuff they did, you'd think at a certain point their owner would be like, "Excuse me, where is this money coming from?"
yeah,
And I guess that's what kind of shook me about it. Because like even so, like we went to like Let's Play Live and all this stuff, but it's like apparently they lost some money on that stuff. It's like, how is your and you guys haven't had corporate ownership for so long? How would this like get past them?
yeah, their ownership program, whatever you want to call it, something's up because you know I don't know if they were just smooth talking Texans or
Because like, how does anyone who's like Warner, who, like any of them who looked for a while and like open up their books and go, "Yeah, this is fine." Like I feel like the first thing I'd be like, "We don't need this live thing." Then like you start cutting the obvious stuff.
yeah,
I don't see. Obviously, we bad people who lost their jobs, but yeah, that was a shocking one. But it made sense once you kind of dug into it. But it's a bit shocking in the moment. So yeah, final story, which I think what this is the good news one. Embracer has officially sold Saber and a bunch of teams with them to Saber slash some like external investors. So at least they are escaping the great void known as Embracer Group.
yeah.
And we hope them and their colleagues best in their newfound, let's call it freedom. Is freedom a good term for that one? So,
Honestly, I have no idea.
but yeah, that is it. That is all the stuff that happened. Let's talk about games coming out soon. There's a bunch. We actually some. The Turtles arcade. It's the Turtles Wrath Memes, which is basically the arcade collection. Comes out to everything on April 23rd. Celebrate 26th. Sonic Saga Hellblade 2, the 21st of May. System Shock Remake is coming to consoles on May 21st. F1 24. I'm assuming AJ's classic. May 31st. Destiny 2,
I haven't
the
even
final
played
shape.
F123, honestly.
Huh.
I probably should at some point, but let's wait till 24.
Destiny 2, the final shape, I call it the pre-layoff experience, is coming out on June 4th. And then finally, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, comes out to everything on June 21. Like, there are more games. Honestly, this is still not the best in the world list yet. I'm
And
hoping
I
we
mean,
see some new
also,
stuff.
we have to remember the um,
Hmm.
NCAA, most likely June, especially after that
Yes. Yes.
clapper, the literal last shot of the teaser trailer that they announced saying, hey, we're going to have something in May, has a date, and it's 6/7/24.
Yeah, because again, once it gets on, they're all thought on there. I'm just waiting because we have not had it. I'll be interested if we really get that close without a date. Like I think we should have soon if it's
Which, I mean,
coming out
that's a
that soon.
Friday.
Yeah, no, logically I could see it. So we will see, but that is it. That is all we have been given. Unless you've had something, I didn't see any April films that were of real note.
I'm attempting to
Yeah, I figured as much.
look at that. Civil War would probably be my
It
Go
looks
to.
interesting. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be good or not, but we can do it. So Civil War.
I mean, it's got everything going for it, right? It's the director of Ex Machina. It's got Kirsten Dunst. Like, a lot of the movie should point to it being good. The question becomes, all right, so everything says it should be good. Is that going to lull you into a sense of security and say, oh, well, it must be good?
Yeah, I'll be very intrigued on that one. So yeah, but that is it. That's all we got. So yeah.
Also, there's a movie called Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Great name for a movie.
That is a great name for a movie. I'm not even gonna lie, that's an amazing name for a movie.
So yeah.
Yeah,
We will
that
be
is-
watching Civil War for Movie Club.
I'm hoping it doesn't. Real one doesn't break out with it. That'd be the ultimate. Like it was just like a week too early or something. It comes out.
I've seen people say, kind of early reviews, like, this movie's like 2 years too late.
Is that the one that like starts with the most unrealistic map of all time of like the Civil War lines? And I was like, excuse me.
I think so, yeah.
I remember people talking about like when that came out. I was like, what are these lines?
Yeah, it's like Texas and California teamed up
Yes.
together, and you're like,
Like this is not happening.
and you're just like, I guess, like,
You're like, I'm pretty sure that if Texas would kill each other, if they're all Texans, they would definitely kill Californians. It'd be like saying that like Wisconsin, Illinois is on the same side if they get an option. It's like really.
I mean, I think the Midwest would just team together and say,
No, we would just because we would want anyone else to. Like it'd be one of those we'd all like accept each other for that exact reason.
yeah.
We'd all be like, we're not letting anyone else deal with this.
I mean, also, you have to remember the largest militia in the U.S. is based in the Midwest, so.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people talk about, like, if the Civil War or, like, a war broke out or, like, the Hunger Games idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, everyone is forgetting Michigan's literally got a militia.
My favorite is one of those I saw is that there was one and they like divided the map east and west and it was like the east included like everything like Dallas and east and it's like the west coast doesn't even have a half a second of a chance.
Yeah.
Like we still got Texas, Wisconsin, Florida. It's like okay, we're just gonna call this a day and pretend you guys have 2 seconds to live.
Yeah.
The only one I was concerned about on the list was the west coast got Montana.
It's big enough.
But that's the only one on that list I'd be like, okay, those are the people I'm a little concerned about. Everyone else, like let's be honest here. Even like Nevada, are we that? Do you think people in Wisconsin can handle Nevada?
Yes. Yes, because they would just push their way to Vegas. I mean, shit, Wisconsin already takes over Vegas for 2 weeks out of the year anyway.
That's what I mean. Like that's like it would be a nothing. Like when you get north to like Washington, are we serious? Like
Washington, I would
state.
worry about because Washington and Oregon have those West Coast hillbillies
Oh damn, that's true. They have those are some true crazy people.
where, like, they're just tripping on shrooms the whole time.
And what's interesting about them is because they're not surrounded with people who like agree with them a lot of times too. So it's like they're the true type crazy who doesn't care. Like,
Yeah. Like, at least our Appalachian hillbillies, like, they're good for making a damn good liquor
mm-hmm.
and driving in circles really fast.
But like they're not the ones who are gonna mess with you. If you leave them alone, they'll generally leave you alone.
Yeah, you leave them alone, you'll just get plastic jugs of moonshine left on your doorstep. And you have to slip a 20 into the mailbox. That's about it.
Because they only take cash, and it's
Yep.
only the cash before the 1990s, before they added like something to it to track them or something.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
yeah.
yeah.
We will see you next time. Hopefully without a civil war.
I don't know. It might be interesting. All right, now the stream can hear the game.
I just want to point out these matches are comically fast.
Yeah, this is one of the event ones. The one that, so my Old West cowboy character that I have on the medium and heavy build was another kind of like that. Well, it wasn't this, where it's basically CTF or King of the Hill. It was a it was more like the traditional finals experience.
Again, I like this mode. That shit is fun. I just wish it just let us go to the map without having to go back to menu.
Well, I'm taking us back to menu because I think that might be what's crashing.
No, that's fine. I just meant like a logistical, like, I wish it just kept us like at the multiple rounds of this versus like one.
Yeah.
I feel like a 10-minute match. It should just be like best of 3 or something. Like, give them a little more.
Now that's exceptional.
Also, on a controller, I figured it out. It is not the most obvious thing in the world of how I switch to like my secondary equipment.
How do you have to do it?
I have to hold L1, which pops up the regular menu, and then I use my right stick to pick the thing. But it looks like...
That's not the first time I've heard of something like that.
Sure, but the way it's looking on the screen, it looks like I should have just used the D-pad. And I don't understand why I can't use the D-pad. Like, that's the thing. I go, you're giving me icon errors because it's matching where on the reticle thing I would be hitting. But instead, it looks like the old Xbox D-pad icons.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. Like, functionally, it functions fine. I'd try for it, but like, it's fine. But it just looks weird.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Holy shit. The M1 Garand is awesome.
Both teams are contesting the platform, but only one will manage to take control of it.
But yeah, tomorrow I leave for the Australian.
The tough shells are making their run.
How many kangaroos do we think I see?
Well, I mean, you can artificially inflate that number by going on an excursion.
No, we're not. So we're not. We are just because we're seeing like all of our family and stuff. We are mostly in Melbourne area, and then going to Sydney.
Well,
like, we
first
wanna
off,
be
you need to learn how to pronounce it. It's not Melbourne, it's Melbourne.
Melbourne.
The platform's contested. Let's see who comes out on top.
But we will see. Be curious. I've been told there's a lot of good food there, which will be exciting. And then we have to sit on a plane for 16 hours.
That's the one downside to when I'm going to Japan, is I'm looking at the flight times of what that's going to be. And I'm just like, fuck. 17 hours on a plane.
I went to my doctor and I got Xanax. So I'm hoping I just...
I'm just going to bring gummies.
Tough shells are hunted up on that platform.
See, but I would be scared of this, like, if you have a bad experience on that plane.
I mean, I had a bad experience the last time I did gummies on a plane, but that is fun.
But, like, that one, too, like, you have a TSA problem.
No, because it's legal where I am.
But you're on federal, it's like, it's not a, like, it's a federal thing at that point. Like they could if they want to take them away, but... That's what
No, because it only becomes illegal when you land.
Oh.
Because that was one of the things of like, as states were legalizing it, it was becoming okay.
On that platform.
Can I travel with it? And it's like, yes,
Kinda.
but it depends on where you're going for the final kind of go no go. If you will.
That is interesting. I definitely did not realize that.
So
The tough shells are making their run in this game.
Michigan, the state that brought us sports gambling and
I mean, we weren't the first on anything. So
This will burn.
because you get sports gamble in Michigan now, right?
oh, we've been able to. We were the third
Yeah,
or fourth
yeah,
state
that's it.
to legalize it after Vegas or after Nevada. New Jersey was first because that was a Supreme Court case.
Because they were the suits. Like they were like, we passed it, we wanted to do it.
Yeah,
It's time for
and I mean,
That's-
they should have won that. Like
And the tough shells crack the
that was an
competition
open and shut
today,
case. Like
completing a power shift. On behalf of all
it
of us
was
here at
basically a
Wales,
monopoly
thanks for
antitrust
watching.
case, and it had surprised me that they weren't going to do it sooner. Like nobody had gone after him sooner, basically.
I was gonna say, what surprised, what also to me, I didn't say that too. The more I'm reading about it and the more I'm seeing about numbers, I do have to say though, it is starting to concern me what is seeming like to be not quite say an epidemic, but there definitely seems to be some mass gambling concerns that we've been starting to see pop up that I'd be very curious.
I mean, the
Um,
NCAA wants to ban prop bets
Mhm.
on college games.
Because like you're seeing some players being accused of adjusting their stats or doing stuff, right?
Yeah, the
Obviously,
one,
you're seeing the big baseball.
well, yeah, the Shohei Ohtani deal, but the one that is going to be interesting from my perspective is as we are I don't know. As it becomes more of a thing, right, in more states, you just got to accept that these guys are going to be betting on sports.
No, that I guess that's less a concern. It's more of a bigger concern of like you even hear the stories of like college campuses and stuff like sure, all this stuff happened before, but like the way it is, I'm like I think we're gonna have some very interesting long-term concerns of gambling addicts,
Oh, yeah, gambling addiction is a massive problem in this country.
and it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Australia is actually one that I was reading about that has apparently like a comical amount of gambling problems because like in the U.S. until very recently we had very few city centers with casinos, right? Like
Yeah.
you can all think of exceptions, but like as a whole they're rare.
The kingfish.
Australia, that's normal. Like their big city centers and stuff, it's like a casino, and like you're seeing like they have 2 to 3 amount of like per capita, like the amount of gambling that we do.
Today's battle looks
I mean, what else are you going to do there?
bound for the storybooks. I'll bet.
Indeed, and only one team will
You going to
live
bet on the
forever.
footy or are you going to fuck your cousin for the 4th time that week?
Frag grenade out. We have a battle underway on the platform. Special
I feel
delivery.
like I can't make those jokes to the Australians, right?
You have to let them initiate.
That's fair. Okay, I'm just gonna say though, they make like an American or Hicks joke. I do make Australian Hicks jokes back. That's gonna be a rule.
Oh, yeah.
I think that to me it sounds like a valid response.
Dogs assert their dominance.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to make jokes about the States, you get to make jokes about Australia.
Yeah, that to me is a valid like 1-to-1. Like I say, I don't walk your country and start insulting it, but like if you start making those, I think it's a valid.
Yeah.
I'm going to the platform.
Now here's the question: am I gonna like stuff like Marlamite and Vegemite? Do we think?
Marlamite? It's Marmite, first off.
Or Marbite and Vegemite the other one?
I mean, do you like
Using
yeast?
the platform as their personal playground.
I don't think I've had just yeast before.
Because if you like yeast, then it's
The
not
answer is
a,
yes.
it's not an if, it's a you will.
Can I be honest? This glue combo with the platforms seems like a really good combo
Yeah.
because it just gives us that long enough
son
window
of a
that we
bitch.
need.
Fucking platform move.
Pushing that platform closer to their kennels.
And I think everyone's caught on now because, yeah, the goo, if I could just stop them from shooting us long enough to get this thing further. It's like all that matters.
Showing us while they're not the underdogs, the overdogs are still in control of the platform.
The achievement I was
planning
talking
on-
about that I was hoping I wouldn't have to choose is the finishing first 3 in a row.
Oh, nice. When do you plan to go into the Japan?
February and March of 26.
Oh, nice. So you're just kind of planning it further out.
Yeah.
Are you going, wait, February and March?
Yeah, I'll probably go like mid-February to early March.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
The Kingfish are now on a mission, moving that platform.
Going for the revive. I'm going to revive. Hold on.
The one thing I want to do
Kobe.
one day in Japan is to go to see a wrestle.
What's that?
I want to hear about like the wrestle like right after New Year's Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, Wrestle Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like right after, right? Isn't it like it's like the day after or something?
And usually, yeah, it's usually like the 4th or 5th, 4th and 5th.
So you have to leave basically like on the 2nd or 1st.
Yeah, I mean, if you were gonna legitimately do it, I'd say get there a couple days before to acclimate yourself. But I mean, the one thing you have going for you is it takes place at night, so jet lag would be kind of in your favor.
Minimal.
Sending a frag.
It's wild because at this point it's Wrestle Kingdom's what half of the AW roster.
No. Oh no.
Not half, but like a lot of it. Like or at least you get people who like are on it and stuff.
Both of our teams are refusing to
Um,
the platform to the other.
Wrestle Kingdom is
There, the overdogs have seized the reins.
an incredible experience. I'd love to go see it live. I've watched it live a couple times.
I've only seen like the matches, but I've never watched it live.
It's pretty nuts.
Sending a frag.
Did you see they actually did their first like joint match, like the whatever the new Japanese they announced a new pay-per-view for the joint of all the Japanese wrestling companies.
Yeah.
Enemy spotted.
Which they needed to do because it was very clear that like
And things are heating up in both teams.
only New Japan roster doesn't work anymore because
Thanks a million.
The overdogs
everyone's
are now at the helm of the
cannibalizing each other. So
Gooing things up.
Also, have you seen that wrestler in Nigeria? I think it is. Lloyd White.
Don't worry, folks. Anything can happen.
There's this new, like, brand new independent wrestling down there, and it's supposed to be this guy who's British, whose entire pitch is that because it was once a British colony, that it should be owned by Britain, and that's like his entire joke is a colonizer. But apparently he's like, he's in apparently people love him now because he's so insane that like, and like it's such a good joke that everyone's like dying. He's like the best heel. It's one of those I feel like you couldn't make that joke in like in America or in Britain or anything, but like play like if they like it. I think
yeah,
it's a
that
good
goes
joke
back
if
to
you
if
play
they're
right.
cool with it, then I guess I'm cool with it. But
Yeah, but like also like it's a joke that if you can play it right, it could be very good, but it's really hard to do it right.
yeah,
Because like you can imagine that joke going poorly fast.
oh yeah,
It's like that was a very risky move.
Going for the revive.
The Kingfish have it locked down, and the platform is gliding along.
This was actually a close game.
yeah. I think part of it too is everyone's trying to get their missions done.
Platform is once again the center of attention.
So everyone's playing a little bit different style.
Okay, let's go.
And if you've already got your
Yeah.
missions done, then you're just
Chilling.
cracked. And
I gotta admit though, like legitimately, this is especially for free-to-play first person shooter, has to be one of the best playing ones I've played. That isn't like Destiny.
I mean, it's cheating because it was for a while, but Counter-Strike would be my other one, and early, I guess mid-level PUBG.
Yeah, no, I think this to me though, let me put you, first person shooters though, I think this one might win for me. Oh, that, like, again, I think Destiny actually truly wins, but like that's, I think, an exception to that rule.
I mean, PUBG was first person.
That's fair. PUBG also, like, I think that plays very differently to me, and I think I prefer like the Destiny style of play more.
You said it,
Yeah, I mean,
Scotty,
PUBG's
having
kind of
all
a
our
cheat code for
control
stuff like that.
laser-focused on one objective makes for an exciting game indeed.
The Kingfish have taken charge and are heading home.
Shit. I got 2 minutes to push it past halfway.
I can snipe him. Damn it.
Were you just standing there with a FAMAS looking down?
Waiting
Teams
for him
need
to happen.
get ready to shift their game plans because a surprise is coming their way. Here, frag grenade out. Our laser is active. Any contestant who remains still for too long is in for a
And also, what I was going to do, I was hoping I would pass so I could just shoot him from the top edge, because that was the problem. We could drop into that platform.
frag grenade out.
Orbital.
Orbital lasers. Just keep moving, you'll be fine. I'm on the platform. I'm
Got one out.
holding shit down.
I got.
Down goes my
I
controller.
got one of them.
Oh shit. Unplug it.
The overdogs just snatched the steering wheel.
I just got smoked by the orbital laser, but I'm still alive.
Cool. Good. We eliminated at least the team that was on it, so good luck. There's 2 more coming.
God damn it.
I warned you.
Well, the guy I was reviving, it was finishing up as I died. It was one of those, I thought maybe I could sponge it.
To go, our contestants are still bringing the action. Gas grenade out. A Kingfish victory is just around the corner.
Alright, if I can
We
get
have
on
new
there.
owners out there. The Kingfish have seized
Although
the
they're
reins.
moving, aren't they?
10 seconds left.
I think we're done. No, that was close. They could have won. Oh, we got close.
The Kingfish
I got
are
life
close
for the
to
party.
win this time on
Play 10
Power
rounds.
Shift.
Yeah.
Thanks again to our sponsors and
I got that a
viewers
little
at
early.
home.
10 deaths. There we go, baby. But also 3 objectives.
I got 7 eliminations.
So did I. And yet somehow my combat score was almost double yours.
It was a lot of you had more objectives, I thought.
Well, combat score doesn't count objectives.
Sure. Yeah, how is your is it just I probably a lot like ended the life kills?
I think I had more assists than you.
What's that?
Alright. I literally need to play one more round to finish the bunny thing.
I think we could do that. I think that's doable.
Something that I literally started as we started streaming. I will finish the seasonal objective in less than 2 hours.
That is wait, is that for the entire season?
It's for 2 weeks.
Okay, that's okay. For 2 weeks, I actually don't know if I'm as offended, just because if you think of logistically, like how often can people log on and stuff.
I mean, it's
If it was
nine
like
match. So you have to play 9 matches, which luckily with this mode is pretty easy.
yeah,
And then
9 full matches though
Yeah.
would be a decent long time.
yeah. All right, gotta make sure I'm a light build. Everything else doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean it's the hardest part.
All right.
I got lucky
The live
that
wire
last round
up
that it went
against
so long.
The shock and awe.
Um,
Let's get this started.
I needed gadget damage. I needed to do 1,000 points.
Our contestants look ready to leap at any opportunity in this match, right,
And-
June?
That's
You
right,
know, the
Scotty.
fact that it went so
Everybody
long
is prepared to put a victory
meant
in
I could
their
throw some
baskets.
frags in there and get some good damage.
Living up to their name. Shock and awe impressed by being the first team to claim the platform.
Time to disappear.
Here, I got someone.
Gotta reload.
Also, the time to kill on this, I think, is satisfying too. It's not like too long, but it's like
Yeah,
you're getting
and the
hit
nice
once.
part is it makes sense that like, oh, the light stealth character dies quicker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The
totally.
trade-offs are great.
Uh-oh, looks like the platform
But they
is
also,
being
I think,
contested
logic
by
makes sense, but I think a lot of the games have to really stretch the like logic sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. I appreciate this game took this genre and was like, what's the simplest way we could do it? In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And like they had cool stuff on top of it, but like its base features are relatively simple and easy to teach, which I think some games get too like again, my example of Destiny. I love Destiny now. I don't know what currency I'm supposed to be doing, work towards, like
Yeah, there's too many currencies in
An
Destiny.
explosive push by the shock and awe. The momentum's building.
The shock and awe are firmly entrenched on the platform at the moment.
And then the fact that they had currency limits for the glimmer or whatever the like cash currency was the dumbest thing.
The shock and awe are steering the ship. That platform is theirs.
I mean, I know this gun has a box mag, so therefore it's the M14. But I'm calling this the M1.
Half the journey completed by
It's a fucking monster, dude. It gives you the perfect like glass cannon build with the light character. That it just does damage and it tickles you from a distance. And you know, so it gives you that ability to be like, alright, I want to snipe. Well, the trade-off is you're not going to have much health.
that could be worth it though, to be fair.
Oh, it's totally worth it.
And then,
We're gone.
Shock and awe are looking to wrap up this game.
is that what this is?
The Vanish Bomb. Made out.
The shock and awe have it. They're on the move.
Yeah, we won.
time to disappear.
Reloading. An incredible match concludes with the shock and awe. As
I didn't get eliminated once
and
that
with
round.
that, we'll see you next time at the finals.
Yeah. I've had a couple perfectos. I don't know how I was on the objective the most.
Yeah. I'm on a decent chunk. But you beat me.
0 support score, baby.
Look, you go. I had some assist as well. What's support for? Is that assist or what else would it be?
Well, it's definitely not that because I had a bunch of assists. It's like healing and
Oh, okay, okay. I wonder what mine is. Is it because I just throw the goo?
probably, yeah. I got the whole Bunny Bash outfit. And of course,
Nice.
I like my light character being kind of a weird. Like street hipster.
Ooh, okay. It's wild how fast these matches are.
Yeah. What do you need?
What do you mean?
What's your next Bunny Bash objective?
What is that under? Is that Battle Pass? No, it's
It's bottom left.
I see it. Oh, Circuit Award? No. Play 3 rounds with the light build. Play 3 rounds with the heavy build. And then
Yeah, which
deal
one's the
1,000
closest to being done?
I've only played with medium.
Oh.
So that. And then deal 1,000 damage with gadgets. It really is. You really could knock this in a day.
I mean, I did it in an hour and a half.
Yeah, but like it's
With my
surprising
game
how-
crashing 4 times.
Okay, so also I have apparently maxed out on the not premium currency.
Yeah, I've been earning it like crazy through this mode.
Cool, I unlocked an APS turret. Yeah, make sure to spend all my money so that way it actually is spent.
I would say play as a heavy because that's going to be easiest. You're more of a tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then just make sure your gadgets are offensive ones. I'm disappointed our Twitch thought. Actually, I looked it up. Kick thought.
You looked
Is
her
it-
up?
They posted their
The
YouTube
road
channel.
job.
So like,
Ray
so, like, what is
Charles,
like that?
Ray
It's just a
Charles.
bot filtering, right? Or is is it really the person do you think going and doing that?
I mean,
Why are we all bunnies? What?
There's only 2 options. You stop. Yo, stop, Luca.
Just saying.
Lucas, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need you.
Yeah, stop.
not-
Actually, stop.
Oh, I thought you guys said
Now,
no.
the Vogues versus
Why are we all
the
bunnies?
Steamrollers.
you stayed on
The
medium.
arena has loaded. Buckle up.
Light.
like
Oh, I didn't even. It's because I switched it
Shut
and I
up, you
didn't
haven't even
realize.
played the
You have to
game.
double click.
I'm using like an infantry.
Ah, that's
One
what
of my
it is.
favorite seasons is coming to the arena, June.
I know what you mean, Scotty. Fame is just a bunny hop, skip, and jump away for our
The thing that makes me think it wasn't just a bot is, I mean, it felt very much like a bot. Like
First team to
Okay,
own
this
the,
guy sucks. I hate this. Someone up there. Someone up there.
you know, it was just like a paragraph of text. But usually, when we get those that come in,
Oh, we gotta go on the flat.
as
mind games and
you know,
strategic
stuff, they kind of just, I don't know. Usually, there's nothing behind
I
it,
got two
right?
heavies.
Like,
This gun is good close range. The LH1.
Both teams are refusing to give an inch as they
but
fight.
with this one, it was like,
Dude, this gun is so good close range. The LH1. I have like 7 kills.
Recon
right now.
Sun's
Oh, no.
freaking out how good the
I just died.
M14 is. This thing.
The LH1 is good
The
close range.
steamrollers will need to try again.
Our team, our whole team died.
The Vogues have seized control and are
What?
steaming
I don't
back
like
to
this,
base.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's just the platform.
I missed my XP54.
It says Happy Katana logging into game. He lied. Jacob is in. Jacob's in the lobby.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, it says Happy Katana logged in.
Oh.
The LH1 is good close range. Just saying.
It's not automatic, it's a manually click it.
Oh wait, why
Yeah,
do I
know
have
that,
to
but
piss?
it's
For
really
the
good
Vogues
close range.
just now.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I just killed a heavy with it. I didn't know what was going on.
Then you
Fuck, I died. He's so low.
Damn, dude. Oh, some eventually put a jump platform, but
What just happened?
if I, oh yes,
On a contested platform, every move
yes,
team will make
the 1887 on the medium build is
Oh my god, I
a rocket
respawned
ship.
just before you died. Oh, you're not even dead yet.
remember like putting jump pads on like the door just so we just fuck with
Set
people.
sail.
Thank you.
What?
Speaking of Twitch, that was shocking when to me that had like no presence at GDC. It was like Amazon and Twitch.
You're on the platy.
Did
I'm stuck.
Kick and Steak have anything?
No, but usually Twitch just is because AWS is there, so it's kind of like how much
Yeah.
extra does it cost them? They already have a very big booth.
The steamrollers have flipped
And like
the
for a
switch.
while they were
not
pushing like the
different, it's just-
API and Twitch stuff. You like game stuff and game drops and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The platform's contested. Let's see who comes out on top.
He's in a fucking shit.
Look, you start across the board.
The platform's on
I
the
would be
move,
curious
folks,
if we
and
get to a
the
point
Vogues
where
are
does
driving.
Amazon start consolidating Twitch more?
You have to imagine it's coming soon.
Because like
Maybe it's
they're
shock
definitely
and
not
it's-
the profitable they were. Like
Medium as from us, or
Penny kind of was talking about how like harder and all that.
What does an egg do?
Halfway through the track, the Vogues continue their stride.
Damn it. I go back to the house.
How am I dead?
might have died.
How are you dead? You got shot, kid. It's generally what happens.
They're all here.
What?
Fuck,
No.
they're all on the
Action time. The Vogues grab control.
Explain that
and
to me
are
again.
moving back to base.
We have a platform showdown on our hands.
No, that heavy is 1. There's a heavy at 1 HP. He's dragging it on the platform. Oh, you guys all died. Nice.
Using pyro grenade.
Thought I had a regular
Hit
frag
the
grenade, not
road,
a pyro grenade.
Don't you come
Shut
back
up, I'm
no
not
more.
muting you.
Yeah, I do kind of
Why,
that.
you're
The
just
lack
saying
of regular grenades, I was like, I
You're
gotta get
just
used to.
bursting with it.
Essentially what I
The
do.
Vogues are swiftly closing in on the win.
Oh, how is it? Okay, that's right. I was like, what's pick
There's a
up?
whole maze on here.
Yeah, that revive being off key is weird to me too.
They've got it moving.
It's like a
It's
controller,
E,
it's
isn't
not
it?
square. Yeah, and on controller it's
Yeah, they all
fine.
have heavy.
Oh.
Well, at least it's off. So
Yeah,
like,
that's-
because I haven't played it.
That's a little awkward, but
It should be square.
I'm pretty sure it's just E on PC.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like R. I don't know why
you have to
E
use it
can be
again.
E's usually E or F for
I
revive.
hit.
normally.
Half of this match has been played now. The competition is getting
Oh my god, did you
I got an
get
assist with somebody.
not waiting around, and neither are the steamrollers.
No.
Where's the platform? It's over here. Hey, we got control.
They made like an entire little. Oh my god, we're so close to losing it.
Who knows?
Someone behind you.
I had to get off.
Like, we're not giving this damn thing up. Never mind.
The Vogue strategy.
Why is there
works
another one on
as
the
they
ground?
take control.
Why are there? Why? Look, they're targeting me. I'm not even on the 2 people on. Okay, they won.
Shit, there's launch a grenade. Yeah, there's 3 of them. Platform.
This'll burn.
Oh my god.
Nice
our
grenade.
RP just-
Thank you.
I mean, you're getting
pyro, so- Oh my
damage
god.
score with your
It's a big
gadget.
weapon.
Yeah, I got damage score on that one. Like, it did do stuff. It just wasn't a direct hit. That was the problem.
Got you shoving this on
Nope, nope, nope.
What?
Nope.
Killing me. Don't let me get.
Oh, it was a data reshape. God damn it. That loadout changed.
What is the data we should do? I don't think I've used
I
it.
have no fucking idea.
Oh, okay.
I
It's not
thought I
just
had a
me.
pyro grenade.
Oh my god, dude, this gun is so good. LH1.
The steamrollers
No,
just
LH1
snatched the
from
steering
us.
wheel. They're in control.
I just got like 3 kills right there just because of that. We're not dead yet.
Holding on to your shit.
Kids, let me
Right.
tell you the story of the M1 card. The greatest video gun game ever
Which
made.
team will make the last
The video gun game?
Oh,
Yeah.
and right here.
You know what I mean.
And everywhere.
Yeah.
I was trying to shoot 4 different people as I was saying.
They all launch at the same. It's because they have shotguns. Their shotguns are.
Alien
Alien
invasion.
who?
a new event.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
it's okay, yeah.
Team
You're
one.
fucked. E.
The steamrollers suffered a wipeout.
No, but it doesn't matter.
No, we
No,
team
no,
one. They're gonna win.
Okay, oh, team was playing you. To be fair, that's a good victory. If they could do a bigger team wipe, I think it's a little, some level justifiable.
I got 9 kills.
Like 7,000.
I did so bad.
Because you don't have your
And the
Oh,
Vogues come
nice.
out on top with style,
Yeah,
completing
exactly.
a power
This one
shift.
sucked.
the LH1.
All of us here at the finals.
Who's in
The
that
LH1 rips, dude. Destroy. Look at that.
8 deaths.
Good worse.
Only one objective. Yeah, I mean, just from that game alone, it was a loss, and I still got $90. No, I think we'll call it.
Nice.
We'll be back with the finals. Hopefully Mike will have finished the bunny outfit so we can play as rabbits.
That's true. Have a good time.
But yeah, we will see you all next week.